Okay friends, so I put the dough in a warmer room to rise. You're going to want the dough in a warm place, and actually it's very warm out today and I have the air conditioning on in this room. So the dough is rising, and what we're going to do now, just for take a couple of minutes and resume here with you, and I'm going to make now the filling for the blossoming almond, Aaron's blossoming rod challah. What we're going to do is we're going to fill the strands. We're going to make strands to make it long like a rod, like Aaron's rod, and we're going to fill it because it's, remember, it produced almonds. The image of that rod is just really fruitful. So we're going to fill the challah with almond paste filling. And I think it's an original filling that I have done before. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with, this is an egg white, one egg white. I'm going to put it right in the bowl. And then to the egg white, I'll just show you what the ingredients are. We're going to be adding almond powder and sugar. And you can make it with me if you have those ingredients. Oh, there we go. It's getting a little foamy, like the blossoming a little. And we're going to add to the egg white some almond powder. And this is really just, I'll just be honest that I don't really measure this. I have done this before, and I just do it by how proportionate the almond powder will mix in with the egg to get a good consistency that we could use as a paste. When we eat the challah, we want to taste and see how good the Lord is. So we're going to put in a little sugar. I'll start with 1.5 tablespoons and see how it goes. So I'm going to put in a little more sugar, and maybe I'll just put in a little more almond powder, because we're going to want to fill three strands. Three strands we're going to want to fill. Here is how it came out, and I'll show you. I'll use this little taster. This is from, what you get in coffee, from Coffee in the Morning. That's good to use if you want for like a little taster. So let's see how it is. Ooh, it's very good, friends. So that's, it's our almond filling, and as I said, very simple. It has sugar, and for those of you who know me, I don't use the white sugar. I use, and it's not really, it's brown, but it's a tensaito. It's a sugar that we can get here in Japan. It's like a healthy, easy to digest sugar made from radish, daikon radish. It's very light. And so if you have a kind of healthy sugar variation, I would recommend that for your sugar. And then this is the almond powder. And it looks like I used, for those of you who like measurements, it looks like this was 40 grams and I used most of it, probably 3/4. So I probably used 30 grams of almond powder, and I used 1 egg white. That's it. And that's what we'll use to fill our challah strands for our blossoming challah. So the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, "Speak to Bnei Israel and get a rod from each of his ancestral house, 12 staffs in all, from each prince according to his ancestral household. Write each man's name on his staff. Write Aaron's name on Levi's staff, for there is to be 1 staff for the prince of each tribe. Then you are to place them in the tent of meeting before the testimony where I meet with you. It will come about that the staff of the man I choose will sprout. I will then rid myself of the grumblings of Bnei Israel, who are grumbling against you." Okay, so that is what's happening in our Parsha right now, after the grumblings of the 4 rebellions, including the rebellion of Korach. And so now the tribes all are have to bring their staff or their rod to Moses. So we're going to represent that now and see which one is going to blossom to be the rod that God chooses. And just a little note on the challah making here. If you have a good dough, you don't need flour on the surface. That's the ideal, that you wouldn't need flour. And actually, when you have a good dough, and if you put flour on the surface, actually you're going to run into a little trouble like I did here. I put some flour here, and it really doesn't roll very well if you put the flour, and it doesn't need flour. So I just wanted to mention that. 12 staffs. 12 rods. Okay friends, so now what's happening is that we're going to be taking the rod that was chosen and we're going to make it into the blossoming rod, challah. So I'll just tell you that a little something just happened, and there was one rod was chosen, and now we're going to fill the strands. Well, you'll see what's going to happen. It's a little bit hard to put into words because we're making a kind of supernatural phenomenon in challah. So you just have to trust that we're going to be getting a nice blossoming. This challah will blossom, and we'll be able to express our Aaron's blossoming rod. What we're doing now is we're putting the almond paste. Remember, we made the almond paste, and now we're making these are going to be strands of the one that's going to be the blossoming challah. Okay, you ready? May the best rod sprout. And we are putting a little bit of almond inside to again give us this whole blossoming almond expression. Okay friends, so I don't know if you can see what's happening here, but we're starting to see some blossoming action happening, and we're starting to see a few blossoms. Oh my goodness, starting to blossom. Let's see. The staff of Aaron, you see, so it's starting to be, it's more thin and long than our usual challah that we would make. And then from here, we start to see some of the blossoms. Oh my goodness, look at that. Some blossoms are coming off. Some of the blossoms are forming. Oh my goodness, right in front of our eyes. Here we go, the blossoms are starting to form themselves. This is the one that was from the house of Levi, from Aaron's rod, is starting to reveal itself. Whew. And reveal itself to be the blossoming rod of Aaron. And here we have it. Okay, so friends, so for those of you who want to know now really how to make these blossoms out of challah, what we did was we rolled the strand with the almond paste inside of it. So now we have a roll, this roll, and each roll we can cut. If you cut like a little section of the roll, what happens is you get a little, like a cross section of the blossom. So here what we're doing now is we're making the little blossoms. We're making them out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 little kind of cross-sectional pieces. And then once they're all cut, we're going to want to decorate them. And I hope that you might enjoy. I hope that you were blessed by this Parsha Korach blossoming challah, and that you might even try it for the Parsha Korach at your home for Shabbat. So there's a kind of messianic quality to this challah as well, as we know that God chose Aaron's staff from the tribe of Levi, and we know that he chose his son to be the Messiah, Yeshua, and his anointed one is, there are some that, rebel against that choice and say, no, we don't like that choice, but the truth is, that's God's choice. And we know what happened with the followers of Korach who rebelled against God's chosen one in that time when it was, the staff, when it was Aaron. But God will reveal his choices, which is a beautiful thing to know. The blossoming rod also can encourage us, as this was Aaron was the high priest, and we are given to be the holy priesthood, a holy priesthood in God. So may we also bear fruit, even if it might feel sometimes like a time of barrenness, like the rod was like it was just a tree, a dead tree, but it blossomed and it bore fruit and it produced almonds. So may we also take that as something that we can take with us as well in this Parsha, how God will supernaturally bring about fruit in his time and in his time and in the ones that he has chosen. And don't forget, he chose you. Don't forget, he chose you before the beginning of time, and so that you would bear fruit. So God bless you, everyone, and Shabbat Shalom.